All right, so we're all hearing it, right? AI is going to change everything. But what if the real story here isn't about the tech at all? What if it's about a lesson we should have learned 100 years ago? Today, we're going to dig into the true economic impact of AI, and you'll see why most of us, well, we're probably looking at this all wrong.
So let's just get right to it, because this is the question, isn't it? Is all this AI talk just a massive bubble, a bunch of hype? Or are we really standing at the dawn of a new age? It's it's really confusing because right now, the hype and the reality, man, they could not be further apart.
I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got the stock market pouring literally trillions of dollars into AI. The bet is that it's going to transform every single corner of the economy. But then, on the other side, you've got a recent study from MIT that found something kind of shocking. 95% of companies investing in Gen AI have seen zero, zip, nada in return. So, what on earth is going on here?
Well, here's the thing. The key to cracking this paradox isn't about looking at the hype, it's about looking at history. It turns out, if you really want to understand where AI is headed, you have to go back in time. We need to look at how another world-changing technology, electricity, actually took over.
All right, Section 1, a lesson from electricity. And believe me, this story is an almost perfect parallel for what we're all living through with AI right now.
Okay, check this out. 3%. That's it. A full 2 decades after electricity was invented, only 3% of American factories were even using it. I mean, think about that. For technology that we now see as completely fundamental, its start was just incredibly slow. And for a lot of people back then, it was a huge disappointment. So why was it so slow? Well, it comes down to this concept that economists call co-invention. Now, it sounds kind of fancy, but the idea is actually super simple. A new technology's real power isn't unlocked by just plugging it in. Nope. It's unlocked when you redesign the whole world around it.
And the factory floor is the perfect example. So at first, what did the factory owners do? They just took out their old steam engines and plopped in some new electric motors. And the result? Tiny gains, barely noticeable. The real breakthrough, the aha moment, was when they realized, hey, with electricity we can get rid of all these heavy shafts and pulleys. Then they could build cheaper, single-story factories, and then they could completely reorganize the entire workflow. That's when productivity just exploded. We're talking 300 to 500% gains. And that brings us right back to today. With AI, we are in that exact same first stage. We're just plugging AI into our old ways of doing things, into our existing workflows, and then we're scratching our heads wondering why the results are so underwhelming. We haven't even started to redesign the quote-unquote factory floor of knowledge work. But we will. That's the key. We just haven't done it yet.
Okay, so if AI is the new electricity, that begs a really important question. What's our role? What's the human part in all this? Well, it all comes down to one thing: judgment. So here's the core distinction you've got to understand. AI, at its very heart, is a prediction machine. That's it. It's just incredibly fancy statistics predicting what comes next. The next word in a sentence, the next pixel in an image, you name it. But what it absolutely 100% lacks is judgment. That uniquely human thing where we weigh trade-offs and have to make a call when there's no easy answer. And look, this isn't just me saying this. It's not some philosophical idea. One of the top economists studying AI put it this bluntly: they have no judgment. They have zero judgment. These systems don't have wants, they don't have goals, they just follow instructions. That's it.
You know, we've actually seen this movie before. Think about accountants. Back in 1980, like 80% of their job was just doing math, arithmetic. Then the spreadsheet comes along and completely automates that task. So did all the accountants lose their jobs? Nope, not at all. Their jobs just transformed. Today, an accountant's value isn't in doing the math. It's almost entirely in judgment, deciding what to analyze and what it all means for the business. So let's talk about what this means in practice. Let's look at how we're going to start redesigning the factory floor of today's work. This is a huge shift. The whole basis of competition is moving away from execution and towards thinking. So all those skills that used to be a big deal, writing a perfect legal brief, doing complex data analysis, they're becoming cheap. They're becoming commodities. The real competition is moving upstream, from the ability to do the task to the much harder skill of thinking through the problem in the first place. Okay, just think about a crazy process, like getting a hospital bill paid. It all starts with, what, a 7-minute visit with your doctor? But then that one little event kicks off this insane, inefficient chain reaction. The doctor has to write up charts after hours. Those charts get sent overseas. Somebody there creates billing codes, sends them back to the hospital, and then finally the hospital can ask for payment. It's nuts.
Now, here's the real disruption of AI. It's not about making each of those little steps 10% faster. No way. It's about collapsing that entire broken process. Imagine a world where the reimbursement just happens the second the patient walks out the door. All of a sudden, you free up all those people to focus on the stuff that actually requires human judgment, like, say, auditing complex claims or figuring out who's liable for what.
Which, of course, brings us to the most important part of this whole discussion. What does this mean for you? What is the one skill set you need to be building to be AI-proof? So what is it? What's the single most important skill you can possibly develop in the age of AI? And let me give you a hint. It's not learning to code. It's not becoming a prompt engineer. It's about sharpening a skill you already have, a capability that is uniquely human, and it's about to become more valuable than ever before.
It's judgment. Plain and simple, the ability to make critical decisions by weighing all the trade-offs, especially when you don't have all the answers. Look, if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. As AI makes prediction cheap and easy, the economic value of human judgment absolutely skyrockets. It becomes the thing that sets you apart.
And the good news is, this isn't some abstract thing you're just born with. You can actively build your judgment muscle. So how do you do it? Well, start by constantly asking why. Dig deeper to find the real trade-offs behind any decision. And really focus on those trade-offs. Recognize that every decision is a choice. You've got to learn by doing, by making decisions that have real stakes. And then, and this is crucial, you have to own the outcome, good or bad. That's how you create the feedback loop that makes you better. And that really leaves us with this one last provocative thought to chew on. Seriously, think about this quote. Do you think back in 1915, anyone would have called what you and I are doing right now work? Just having this kind of conversation? Of course not. It just shows how much our definition of valuable work has already changed. And as AI continues to automate the tasks of today, our jobs are just going to keep evolving, shifting more and more towards the things only humans can do. Apply judgment, set goals, and ultimately decide what really matters.